In this second part of the video, we're going to show you how to make the flame interact more with its surroundings. I'm going to move my timeline indicator in. You can see that the flame's there, but it's not brightening up his hand. And we all know flames make light. So, what do? Well, I want you to realize that this bottom movie here, the hand, and I can rename it that. I can right click on it and say rename. I'm going to rename it and call it hand. Alright. Okay, so basically this thing is transparent, this hand layer. So let me show you how that works. If I solo it and turn on the toggle the transparency grid, you can see that it's transparent. So that means I can use the hand to mask the lighting. Okay, so let me show you how this works. You duplicate the hand, and I'm going to just be highlighted on the hand and tap Control D. Make a second hand. We're going to call this one the hand track mat. Okay, so hand track mat, and what I'm going to do is drag that second hand up above, and let's see. Now that I have the hand track mat made, I need to make a new solid to actually glow. So I'm going to say layer, new, solid. And this one we're going to have it called the glow. And the color I'm going to choose is something like this yellowy color here. And say OK. Now it's going to go to the top. I'm going to drag it down in my layer stack by just clicking and dragging. Put it underneath the hand track mat layer. And then I can make the glow only show up where the hand is. Watch what this does. Now if your track mat column here is not there, make sure you tap the toggle switches modes button. And I'm going to do alpha mat to the hand track mat. So you can see how that works. Now I have a yellow hand basically. Now that yellow hand is way too big. I want to mask it off, make it smaller. So I'm going to use the pen tool to simply draw around the part I want to make glow. So just kind of inside his hand, and I'm just kind of clicking and dragging, coming down, and like that. Now, it's not going to do anything past the edge of the hand because it's tracked to the hand's transparency. So that's good. Now, but the problem is it's too solid of an edge. So we can adjust the mask settings. So I'm going to collapse some of these to give us some more room. And on the glow layer, I'm just going to expand it down and expand the mask out. And you can see that the mask feather here, I can just feather it up, like 130, 140 pixels. And you can see how it fades out. So that's good. I got that. I can also make the opacity of it a little lower. I'm going to put it down in the 60s. Okay. And for the layer itself, I'm going to change its blend mode for the layer glow itself. I'm going to just collapse that mask and we'll make it be in color dodge. Oh, no, not color dodge. Let's do classic color dodge. Yeah, much better. Okay. Now, right now, this is glowing and that's okay and all, but what we need to do is make it follow the hand. No problem. We'll just track it to the hand. So I'm going to click P. And now the position comes up, and I alt-click the top stopwatch, and then I can use my pick whip once again to track it to the position of the tracker. So now it should be moving around. Now, I think it's about right in the right position. Now you might need to use the pan behind tool depending on which frame you were on when you did that. So just go to the pan behind tool, and you can reposition it to the right spot. Okay. All right. Now, the glow should not happen until probably about here, okay? So I'm going to redo my mask here. I'm going to re-bring up my mask. And let's see, the mask's expansion. Okay, let's start about that. All right, let's make this a little lower here. All right, so the mask expansion basically makes it go out bigger and smaller. You see that? Okay, let's make it smaller by just kind of going in negative number, right? This is our first part. Let's just leave it at, we'll leave it at 0 here. Okay, so we'll leave it at 0. All right, and then we'll hit the stopwatch and we'll move back a few frames here, just enough. Let's see. Not too many. Let's go page down to kind of walk our way through it. Okay, great. And what we want to do is have this really low. All right, so what happens is it just comes up. So you see how it comes up and brightens up that thing. All right, so it brightens it up and it stays that way. It stays that big, and we move it down, keep going, keep moving. All right, and then at the end it closes up. So let's just do that again. Make it go, and then right before the close up, let's do page up a couple times. All right, so here's probably our new keyframe for mask expansion. So I'm going to hit the diamond over here to the left. Put page down and go through a few frames. Right about there, and take this down really far. So it makes it go away. Go away. All right. Now, the last thing we need to do is the light in a glow like this is not always perfect, okay? So what I want to do is under this glow layer here, I want to hit T for opacity, and then Alt-click the opacity's time stopwatch. And I'm going to change this expression in here to randomly change, okay? So if I type in wiggle and then a parenthesis, and I'm going to say 3, 40. I want you to see what this does. Now, before I actually see what it does in the video, I want you to see what it does to that level. Now, if it was at 100%, we would have a straight line on this graph, 100%. But when I change it, watch what this line does. It's now going down, up, down, up, down, up, just wiggling, changing randomly over that period of time. So I'm going to turn that graph off, and you can see that when it goes through now, it's going to kind of pop in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay. All right. You can take that and let it kind of sink in for a second. The last thing I want to do is probably add some highlights along the tips of the fingers. So to do that, honestly, it's the same method. We just, on the same glow layer, we just add another pen, and we do the tips of the fingers, kind of like that, wrapping around. I'm going to go out quite a bit so I can get the top of the fingers. All right. And you can see how that works. And now if you go into the glow, or I think it's hit M, and you'll see that there's a hit MM, you get all of it. Okay. We're going to feather those as well. So you can see how that's feathering that one. And we'll also make the opacity down a little bit. And maybe expand it down. All right, so let's see what that does. All right, so it should also flicker because it's on that same layer. It'll flicker as well. It will need the mask opacity or the expansion to go away. So let's kind of do that. We'll just have both of these up at the same time. I'm going to make them line up. So I'm going to go to the previous keyframe for the mask expansion of my first mask. And we're going to set that one on this mask expansion. And then we'll move back again, and we'll take this one way down. Right? And then we'll move forward a couple, and we'll add a diamond. And then we'll move forward one last one, and we'll take it way down. So let's see. All right, so it's like it moves and then it jumps out. All right. So now that you're done with that, we'll let you render this after you can also change some colors of these if you need to, but I'm just going to go with what I got, and we'll render it in the next video.